Hello, in this video, I'll show you some basic techniques of assembly modeling in SOLIDWORKS Design. When you're racing to finish a robot, wasting time fighting assembly mates is the last thing you need. There are two main ways to constrain components using mates in a SOLIDWORKS Design assembly. My personal favorite, and the quickest, is to pre-select the entities and select the mate from a pop-up menu. Another way is to use the mate dialog. In this video we will take a look at both. Let's get started. From the command ribbon, click Insert Components. On the Open dialog, quick filters allow you to browse for the file types you need. Here I will search for parts only. For the first part of the assembly, select the best part that represents the main or base part of the assembly that the other components will be mated to, based on design intent. In this case, it will be the bottom tube of the assembly. Click Open. Make sure Graphics Preview is enabled on the Insert Component dialog at left. Notice, as I move my mouse, the component floats around the graphics window. If I click in open space, the component will be placed in the 3D environment in a random location. Instead, I will move my mouse to the dialog and click the green check. This will fix the origin of the component at the origin of the assembly. At this point, it is good practice to save the assembly. Another way to insert components is to drag them into the assembly, right from Windows File Explorer. Since this is the second component placed into the assembly, it is floating freely in the environment. Prior to mating, I want to orient the component close to its destination. I accomplish this easily by using the right mouse button to click and drag on the component, rotating it into position. The tube plug will be inserted into the end of the tube, and can be mated in a number of ways. The best choice is to use mates that reflect the design intent of the components. When these components are assembled, they will be bolted together through the holes that are designed into the part for this purpose. Here, I will choose mates that reflect this. A quick way to add mates is to pre-select entities. Holding the Control key down, I select a face of the center hole of the tube plug and the corresponding hole of the tube. Click Concentric from the pop-up menu. Notice, when I click and drag the component, it rotates and moves up and down. I'll repeat the process for the side hole. Using these two mates fulfills the design intent and fully constrains the component with only two mates. Next, I'll add a side tube. I click Insert Components, browse for the file, click Open and click to place it in the assembly. These particular components are from a supplier and are designed to work together. For the purpose of this video, I will add mates using the mate command. Notice, there are tabs with many types of mates available. What you click on in the graphics window will be placed in the blue box at the top of the dialog. There are several standard mates to choose from. For this example I will choose Coincident. Select two faces, one from each component, then click the green check on the pop-up menu to add the mate. Notice, I can click and drag the component in limited directions. Using the mouse, I will rotate and select two faces from below. Another mate is added, and now when I click and drag the component, it moves in only one direction. This time, I will select two opposing faces, and when the pop-up menu appears, there is a green check on the right mouse button, making it even easier to accept the mate. Using mouse gestures, I'll move to an isometric view, and close the mate dialog. To verify that these mates will fit the design intent, I can click the red arrow on the triad to see the right side view. When I zoom in and select the tube plug from the Feature Manager design tree, I can see the holes are lined up properly. Now, I'll add components to the other side. I want to add another tube plug and side tube. While holding my Control key down, I will click and drag a copy of the tube plug into the graphics window. Using the right mouse button, I click and rotate the component into a proper orientation. This time, I will demonstrate another mate option that also reflects the design intent. In the mate dialog, I will activate the Advanced tab and select the width mate. Now I will choose two faces from one component which are added to the Width Selections 1 box, then select two interfaces of the tube which are automatically added to the Width Selections 2 box of the dialog. Right-click to accept the mate. A quicker way to mate components in an assembly is to pre-select the faces. SOLIDWORKS Design is smart enough to analyze your selections and select the appropriate mate for you. Here, I will select one face from each component, rotate, then select the other two faces, one from each component. SOLIDWORKS Design understands that I want the width mate and provides it for me in the pop-up menu. To complete, I will select the appropriate holes in each component while holding down the Control key and add a concentric mate. Following this same process, I will add and mate the other side tube. The important thing to remember when selecting which mates to use is to keep the design intent in mind. Thanks for watching. If your first robotics team is ready to level up, get free SOLIDWORKS Design software, training, and resources to power your team's success, and equip your team with professional tools used by real engineers.